Not every "I love you" is spoken out loud. Sometimes it's tucked inside a quiet glance, a protective gesture, or a sacrifice no one else even notices. See, most men look for love in the obvious: gifts, compliments, the big romantic gestures. But real love, it hides in the details, and only the man she truly loves will ever see them. Because when a woman is all in, her behavior changes, not out of obligation, not because she's trying to impress, but because something deep inside her shifts. Her instincts start protecting you like you're part of her soul. She won't announce it, she won't post it, she won't even explain it. But if you pay attention, you'll see it. She starts to do things she would never do for just any man. Little things, powerful things. Things that speak louder than any 3 words ever could. So if you've ever found yourself wondering, does she really love me? You're about to find out. In this video, we're unlocking the truth behind the 8 subtle, sacred, and unmistakable things a woman does only when her heart belongs to you. Let's dive in, because once you see these signs, you won't unsee them. And you'll never again confuse attention with love. You didn't say a word, but she already knew. That's not coincidence. That's the connection. When a woman truly loves you, her care becomes intuitive. She doesn't wait for instructions. She doesn't need reminders. She reads your energy like a language only her heart understands. A sigh you didn't realize you let out. A pause in your sentence, a shift in your tone. To most, it's silence, but to her, it's a signal. She brings you water before you ask, sends that calming message when your mind is in a storm, asks about your day, not because it's polite, but because your peace is her priority. She knows when you're holding back, when you need space, and when you need her to just sit beside you in stillness. This kind of love isn't loud. It doesn't perform for attention. It listens, it watches, it feels. And only a woman who's deeply emotionally invested will act with that kind of awareness. She's not trying to fix you. She's trying to feel with you. That's emotional intelligence wrapped in love. This behavior can't be faked. It can't be forced. It only shows up when her heart is fully yours. So when she meets your needs before you even realize them, know this: you're not just seen, you're understood. And in a world that constantly demands you to be strong, a woman like this is your quiet strength. That's not convenient. That's commitment. That's real love. The strongest loyalty isn't shown in front of you. It's shown when you're not there to hear it. A woman's true love is revealed not in how she treats you when you're present, but in how fiercely she protects your name when you're absent. See, any woman can smile beside you, hold your hand in public, and whisper sweet words in the dark. But when she's in a room filled with gossip, judgment, or criticism, and you're not there to defend yourself, that's where the truth steps forward. Because love, real love, doesn't sit silent. It doesn't laugh when others mock your flaws. It doesn't let people minimize your worth or spin stories that strip away your dignity. A woman who loves you becomes a silent warrior. She'll check her best friend if the jokes go too far. She'll challenge the narrative if someone tries to distort your image. And most powerfully, she'll do it without needing to tell you. Not for credit, not for praise, but because your name now lives in her integrity. That's not just affection, that's alignment. Your reputation becomes part of her protection. Your wins, your struggles, your growth, they matter to her deeply, even when no one's watching. So if you're wondering how real her feelings are, Listen to the echoes in the rooms you'll never walk into. Because if she guards your name when there's no applause, no reward, and no audience, brother, you're not just loved, you're respected. And that kind of loyalty, that's sacred. Loyalty doesn't always make a sound, but real ones feel it, loud and clear. She doesn't post a status update. She doesn't shout it from the rooftops. She simply makes a decision, and you become the only one that matters. When a woman truly loves you, her world begins to narrow in the best way possible. Not because she's limiting herself, but because her heart has found its direction. She stops replying to the flirty messages. She starts leaving conversations on read that once used to entertain her boredom. The invites that once piqued her interest now feel like distractions. You won't see her making a scene, deleting followers, or announcing that she's off the market. That's not how a woman in love operates. Her loyalty isn't performative. It's instinctive. She simply stops seeking what she's already found. This level of commitment happens quietly. No pressure, no need for titles. She doesn't wait for you to define it. In her heart, she already has. And here's the thing most men miss. This silent shift is powerful. Because love isn't just about claiming someone in public. It's about choosing them in private, again and again. She's not keeping her options open. She's not playing games. She's not afraid of missing out. Because to her, you're not one of many. You're the one. So, pay attention. If she's already moving like you're hers, before the label, before the commitment, before the world knows that's love without the noise. And the women who move this way, they're not chasing attention. They're protecting the connection. She doesn't need the spotlight to know she belongs in your story. When a woman truly loves you, she doesn't barge in to rearrange your life. She doesn't try to rewrite your purpose, dominate your routine, or force herself into every part of your world. Instead, she learns your rhythm and flows with it. She observes your late nights, your grind, your dreams, not to change them, but to understand them. She studies the way you move through life so she can support you without disrupting your momentum. She's not trying to lead or follow. She's trying to walk with you. You'll notice it in the small things, how she times her calls so they don't interrupt your focus, how she listens when you talk about your goals, not because she's pretending to care, but because she's building a map of your mind. This kind of love isn't clingy. It's not about control or constant access. It's about alignment. It's about a woman who respects your space while offering her presence like a quiet strength beside you. She still keeps her identity. She still does her own thing. But slowly, subtly, she integrates into your life in a way that feels seamless, not forced. She becomes the melody to your grind, not a distraction from it. That's rare. That's powerful. Because love like this doesn't ask you to slow down. It learns to match your pace. So pay attention. When a woman moves into your world without taking it over, she's not just visiting, she's building with you. Real love begins where the mask falls off. Most people will celebrate you when you're shining, when you're confident, successful, and composed. But few will stay when that light dims. Fewer still will stand beside you when you're cracked open by life, struggling to hold yourself together. But a woman who truly loves you, she doesn't flinch when the storm hits. She doesn't love the performance, you know, the one you put on for the world. She doesn't need the perfect smile, the unwavering confidence, or the carefully polished version of you. She wants you the man underneath the pressure, the one who's honest about his fears, the one who's been hurt, the one who's still healing. A woman in love isn't impressed by the armor. She's drawn to what it protects. When she sees your pain, she doesn't run. She listens. She doesn't offer pity. She offers presence. She becomes a quiet space where your brokenness doesn't have to hide, and your wounds aren't judged, but held with reverence. She might challenge you, yes. She might call you to rise, but she never uses your past against you. She doesn't weaponize your weakness. She honors it as part of your journey. That's rare. That's powerful. That's real. Because love isn't proven in good times. It's revealed in the wreckage. And if she stays, not out of obligation, but because her heart knows yours, then brother, you've found something most men spend their whole lives searching for. She doesn't just love your light. She respects your darkness. Some women listen to respond. The rare ones listen to understand, even when there's nothing being said. A woman who truly loves you won't panic when your voice goes quiet. She won't rush to fill the silence with noise or questions. She won't take your stillness as rejection or distance as disinterest. Instead, she leans into the quiet. She stays. She listens to the pauses between your words because she knows that sometimes your silence speaks more truth than your explanations ever could. She understands your silence isn't a wall. It's a weight, a pressure you carry alone, not because you don't trust her, but because you've carried it for so long, you've forgotten what it's like to share it. And in that moment, she doesn't lecture. She doesn't pry. She simply holds space, not to fix you, not to decode you, but to be with you. Her presence becomes the comfort you didn't know you needed. She gives you permission to just be, without performance, without answers, without masks. That kind of woman doesn't love the version of you that talks, leads, or charms. She loves the man underneath, the quiet thinker, the battle-worn soul, the one who's still figuring it out. Because real love doesn't demand constant expression. It recognizes energy. It feels alignment. It honors stillness. So when you find a woman who respects your silence as much as your words, don't question it. That's not distance. That's depth. And it's one of the rarest forms of connection you'll ever experience. True love doesn't arrive when it's easy. It arrives when it's hard to show up, and she shows up anyway. You'll know a woman truly loves you not when she's around for the highs, but when she doesn't walk away during the lows. When everything is falling apart, when the timing is wrong, when the road is ugly and uncertain, that's when real love reveals itself. Because love that's only present when it's convenient isn't love. It's a company, temporary, conditional, performative. But a woman who loves you at her core doesn't clock out when the schedule gets tight. She doesn't need perfect circumstances to stay connected. She chooses you in the chaos. She answers the late-night calls. She drives across town after a fight. She shows up at the hospital. She checks on your mother. She sits beside you in silence. When words won't fix the pain. Not because it's easy, because it's right. And here's the truth. Convenience fades. Looks fade. Even passion changes with seasons. But presence, the kind she gives when it would be easier to walk away, that's eternal. It's in those inconvenient moments that she proves you're not just a chapter, you're the story. And that level of devotion, it can't be faked, forced, or manufactured. So pay attention not to how loud her love sounds, but how deeply it stays, especially when staying costs her something. Because real love is loyal when it's hardest to be. And if she shows up when it's inconvenient, brother, don't let her go. Every king needs a calm within the storm, not a cheerleader, not a critic, but a presence, unshakable, steady, and real. When life throws chaos, pressure, and uncertainty at you from all directions, she becomes your still point. Not because she fixes everything, but because her presence alone reminds you who you are. She's not competing with the world's noise. She's silencing it. When you're overwhelmed, she doesn't add more questions. She gives you space to breathe. When you doubt yourself, she doesn't push you harder. She anchors you deeper. She doesn't need to talk over your pain, solve every issue, or demand attention. Her strength is in her stillness. That's rare, because most people will either drown with you or run when the waters rise. But the woman who truly loves you, she becomes your lighthouse. She doesn't try to change your path. She helps you remember why you started walking it. She's the one who senses when your spirit's off balance, who doesn't need a text or a dramatic cry for help to feel that something's wrong. She just knows. She'll make time, hold your silence, protect your peace, not because she's trying to prove anything, but because your stability is her priority. In a world that demands performance and perfection, she lets you just be. That's not passiveness. It's love in its highest form, quiet, present, unyielding. So if you found someone who doesn't flinch when the ground shakes, who doesn't run when you fall, hold on to her. Because she's not your escape, she's your foundation. So now you've seen it, not just in theory, but in truth. Real love doesn't shout, it doesn't perform. It shows up in silence, in sacrifice, and in stillness. The woman who truly loves you, she doesn't just hold your hand in public, she protects your name in private. She doesn't just show up when you shine, she stays when you shatter. She doesn't demand your attention, she guards your peace. And here's the deepest truth of them all. She doesn't love you because of what you give her. She loves you because of who you are when everything else is stripped away. So if there's a woman in your life right now who does even one of these things, see her. Don't overlook it. Don't take it for granted, because this kind of love, it's rare, it's sacred, it's the kind that doesn't need validation. It becomes it. And if you're still searching for it, don't settle for anything less, because now you know what it really looks like. Drop a comment below with the word foundation if this spoke to your soul. Subscribe to the Stoic Guide for more real talk. No fluff, no games. Just the truth about love, loyalty, and the kind of man you're becoming. And if you want to go even deeper, click on the next video. We're breaking down how high-value men recognize love before it's too late. Because, brother, when you're loved right, you don't question it, you feel it. In her silence, in her strength, and most of all, in the way she never lets go.